Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tiravan Chari, Yamuna Tiravan Chari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai. Hari Bol. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet shranvatam swakatha krishna punyashravana kirtana ridhi antastha bhadrani vidhunoti surat satam nashta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Hare Krishna, everyone. So we'll read from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, chapter 19, Planting the Seed. Is that right, Mataji? The place,
Yes.
right?
Yep. Yes, Mataji.
He talked of his childhood at the turn of the century when street lamps were gaslit and carriages and horse-drawn trams were the only vehicles on Calcutta's dusty streets. These talks charmed the boys even more than the transcendental philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and drew them affectionately to him. He told about his father, Gaur Mohan De, a pure Vaishnava. His father had been a cloth merchant and his family had been intimately related with the aristocratic Maliks of Calcutta. The Maliks had a deity of Krishna and Prabhupada's father had given him a deity to worship as a child. He used to imitate the worship of Govinda deity in the Malik's temple. As a boy, he had held his own Rath Yatra festival each year, imitating in miniature the gigantic festival at Jagannath Puri. And his father's friends used to joke, "Oh, the Rath Yatra ceremony is going on at your home and you do not invite us. What is this?" His father would reply, "This is a child's play, that's all." But the neighbor said, "Oh, child's play, you are avoiding us by saying it's for children." Prabhupada fondly remembered his father, who had never wanted him to be a worldly man, who had given him lessons in Mridanga, and who had prayed to visiting sadhus that one day the boy would grow up to be a devotee of Radharani. One night he told how he had met his spiritual master. He told how he had begun his own chemical business, but had left home and in 1959 had taken sannyas. The boys were interested, but so ignorant of the things Prabhupada was talking about that at the mention of a word like mridanga or sannyas, they would have to ask what it meant, and he would go on conversational tangents describing Indian spices, Indian drums, even Indian women. And whatever he spoke about, he would eventually shine upon it and light of the upon it the light of the Shastra. He did not ration out such talk, but gave it out abundantly by the hour day after day, as long as there was a real live inquirer. At noon, the front room became a dining hall, and in the evenings, a place of intimate worship. Prabhupada had kept the room with its 12-foot square hardwood parquet floor clean and bare. The solitary coffee table against the wall between the two courtyard windows was the only furniture. Daily at noon, a dozen men were now taking lunch here with him. The meal was cooked by Keith, who spent the whole morning in the kitchen. At first, Keith had cooked only for the Swami. He had mastered the art of cooking dal, rice, and sabji in the Swami's three-tiered boiler, and usually there had been enough for one or two guests as well. But soon more guests had begun to gather, and Prabhupada had told Keith to increase the quantity, abandoning the small three-tired cooker until he was cooking for a dozen hungry men. The boarders, Raffle and Don, thought not so interested, though not so interested in Swami's talk, would arrive punctually each day for prasadam, usually with a friend or two who had wandered into the storefront. Steve would drop by from his job at the welfare office. The Mod Street group would come, and there were others. The kitchen was stocked with tender Indian spices, fresh chilies, fresh ginger root, whole cumin seeds, turmeric, and asafoetida. Keith mastered the basic cooking techniques and passed them on to Chuck, who became his assistant. Some of the other boys would stand at the doorway of the narrow kitchenette to watch Keith as one thick pancake like chapati after another blew up like an inflated football over the open flame and then took its place in the steaming stack. While the fine basmati rice boiled to a moist, fluffy white finish and the sabji simmered, the noon cooking would climax with the chance, with the chalk. Keith prepared the chalk exactly as Swamiji had shown him. Over the flame, he set a small metal cup, half filled with clarified butter, and then put in cumin seeds. When the seeds turned almost black, he added chilies. And as the seed and the chilies blackened, a choking smoke began to pour from the cup. Now the chalk was ready. With his cook's tongs, Keith lifted the cup, its boiling, crackling mixture fuming over a sorcerer's kettle, and brought it to the edge of the pot of boiling dal. He opened the tight cover slightly, dumped the boiling chalk into the dal with a flick of his wrist, and immediately replaced the lid. Pow! The meeting of chalk and dal created an explosion, which was then greeted by cheers from the doorway, signifying that the cooking was now complete. This final operation was so volatile that it once blew the top of the pot to the ceiling with a loud smash, causing minor burns to Keith's hand. Some of the neighbors complained of acrid, penetrating fumes, but the devotees loved it. When lunch was ready, Swamiji would wash his hands and mouth in the bathroom and come out into the front room, his soft pink bottom feet always bare, his saffron dhoti reaching down to his ankles. He would stand by the coffee table, which held the picture of Lord Chaitanya and his associates, while his own associates stood around him against the walls. Keith would bring in a big tray of chapatis, stacked by the dozens, and place it on the floor before the altar table, along with pots of rice, dal, and sabji. Swamiji would then recite the Bengali prayer for offering food to the Lord, and all present would follow him by bowing down, knees and head to the floor, and approximating the Bengali prayer one word at a time, while the steam and mixed aromas drifted up like an offering of incense before the picture of Lord Chaitanya. The Swami's followers bowed their heads to the wooden floor and mumbled the prayer. Prabhupada then sat with his friends, eating the same prasadam as they, with the addition of a banana in a metal bowl full of hot milk. He would slice the banana by pushing it downward against the edge of the bowl, letting the slices fall into the hot milk. Prabhupada's open decree that everyone should eat as much prasadam as possible created a humorous mood and a family feeling. No one was allowed simply to sit picking at his food, nibbling politely. They ate with a gusto, Swamiji almost insisted upon. If he saw someone not eating heartily, he would call the person's name and smilingly protest, "Why are you not eating? Take prasadam." And he would laugh. "When I was coming to your country on the boat," he said, "I thought, how will the Americans ever eat this food?" And as the boys pushed their plates forward for more, Keith would serve seconds, more rice, dal, chapatis, and sabjis. After all, it was spiritual. You were supposed to eat a lot. It would purify you. It would free you from Maya. Besides, it was good, delicious, spicy. This was better than American food. It was like chanting. It was far out. You got high from eating this food. They ate with the right hand, Indian style. Keith and Howard had already learned this and had even tasted similar dishes. But as they told the Swami in a room full of believers, the food in India had never been this good. One boy, Stanley, was quite young, and Prabhupada, almost like a doting father, watched over him as he ate. Stanley's mother had personally met Prabhupada and said that only if he took personal care of her son would she allow him to live in the monastery. Prabhupada complied. He diligently encouraged the boy until Stanley gradually took on a voracious appetite and began consuming 10 chapatis at a sitting, and would have taken more had Swamiji not told him to stop. But aside from Swamiji's limiting Stanley to 10 chapatis, the word was always more, take more. When Prabhupada was finished, he would rise and leave the room. Keith would catch a couple of volunteers to help him clean, and the others would leave. Occasionally on a Sunday, Prabhupada himself would cook a feast with special Indian dishes. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam 4, 25, 38, the descriptions of characteristics of King Puranjan. We are discussing verse 38. Kamnu tvad anyam ramaye hiyarati gyam akovidam asamparaya bhimukham ashvastana vidam pasum. Kamnu tvad anyam ramaye hiyarati gnam akovidam asamparayaya bhimukham ashvastana vidam pashum. Kamnu tvad anyam ramaye hiyarati gnam akovidam asamparaya bhimukham ashvastana vidam pashum. Would anyone like to recite the verse?
हरे कृष्ण माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। तम नु त्वद् अन्यं रमये हे अरति ज्ञानम् अकोविदम् असम्परायाभिम् उखम् अश्वस्थानविदम् पशुम्। हरे कृष्ण।
Any Mataji? Oh, sorry. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Kim nu tvad anyam ramaye hayarati nyam akovidam asamparaya bhimukham ashvasthana vidam pashum. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Any Matajis would like to recite the verse?
I'll try, Sita.
Thank you.
Krishna. Kam no tvad anyam ramaye hirati nyam akovidam asamparaya bhimukham ashvatana vidam pashum. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. We'll go to synonyms. Come, unto whom, no, then, tvat, then, you, anyam, other, ramaye, I shall allow to enjoy, he, certainly, arati jnanam, without knowledge of sex enjoyment, akovidam, therefore almost foolish, asamparaya, without knowledge of the next life, abhimukham, looking forward, Ashwastana Vidam, one who does not know what is happening next. Pashum, like animals. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. How can I expect to unite with others who are neither conversant about sex nor capable of knowing how to enjoy life while living or after death? Such foolish persons are like animals because they do not know the process of sense enjoyment in this life and after death. Would anyone like to read the purport?
Hare Krishna Mata, I'll give it a try. Since there are 8.4 million species of, 8.4 lakhs species of life, there are also many different living conditions in the lower grades of life. In plant and tree life, there is no system for sexual intercourse. In the upper grades, in the life of birds and beasts, there is sex, but then sex and animals do not know how to actually enjoy sex life. In the human form of life, however, there is full knowledge of how to enjoy sex. Indeed, there are many so-called philosophers who give directions on how to enjoy sex life. There is even a science called Kama Sastra, which is the science of sex. In human life, there are also such divisions as Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. There is no sex life except in the Grahastha or householder ashram. The Brahmachari is not allowed any sex. A Vanaprastha voluntarily refrain from sex, and the sannyas is completely renounced. Hare Krishna. No, sorry. The karmis do not practice Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, or sannyas life, for they are very much interested in Grahastha life. In other words, a human being is very much materially inclined. Indeed, all living entities are materially inclined. They prefer Grahastha life because there is a concession for sex. Karmis think the other statuses of life are worse than animal life. For animals also have sex, whereas the brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyas completely give up sex. The karmis therefore abhor these orders of spiritual life. Krishna.
Thank you so much. So, Hare Krishna. Once again, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev and Gauranga. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to read and understand more about this verse. And please feel free to add or share your valuable thoughts within the lecture or at the end of the class. So this is Shastra for us, right? Though we sometimes feel hesitant to speak about sense gratification in married life to everyone and in public, but Shastras are complete and they do not hesitate at any given point to guide us in the right way. Hence, the highest truth, which is Srimad Bhagavatam, is giving us this chapter, this verse. There are many verses, but this verse, this chapter, like any course syllabus book, we have a syllabus book, and then there are a lot of knowledge bearing articles, techniques, theories in that book. There are many reference materials at the same time in the book. And also there are sample problems, in the course book, which would then help you to it is sample problem which might come in your exam, or a similar type of problem might come in your exam. And I remember when I was studying dinosaur ages ago, at that time I do remember that we used to have this reference guidebook, and there used to be so many reference articles and knowledge articles, but then there was this one small section at the back of it that used to be these sample problems. And at that time it was said that if you have understood and solved all those sample problems, so everything is set, then your exam, you'll at least pass. You'll at least pass. We are not talking about distinction, but you'll pass. So this chapter itself is like a sample problem given to us, right? When I read the translation of this, the first time when I read the translation of this, I was confused because I kept on reading it twice in our Bhagavatam reading session. I read it again because I thought, you know how we say that, oh, such people who are engaged, how Srila Prabhupada has infused that in our life, that people engaged so much in sense gratification are no better than animals. And here the verse is actually saying exactly opposite. So that was like, okay, what is that? And then I understood, okay, it's a trick question there. So just like any syllabus, this book also contains this. This book is our main one of the main books for our practical life, and it has many sample problems. And this chapter, this whole chapter, what the story what Narad Muni is describing to Prachinabhari, it is for us. It is a sample problem, and he's presenting it in front of us. So yesterday we saw how His Grace Poshak Madhav Prabhuji mentioned about what is intelligence, what are different types of intelligence, what does intelligence do, how can we differentiate between material intelligence and spiritual intelligence, which is Puranjani, the lady in this picture. She is the intelligence personified, material intelligence personified, and King Puranjan is conditioned soul, consciousness. And we know that intelligence cannot function without consciousness. So here, Puranjani is proposing to King Puranjan to get together so that they can enjoy, they can have sense gratification, right? And this is very tricky because how yesterday His Grace Poshak Madhav Prabhuji mentioned, intelligence is a very, very sharp weapon, but at the same time, it's a very dangerous weapon. It can cut both ways. So here, this is cutting the wrong way, actually, where she's actually fanning his ego, Puranjan's ego, by saying, like, you know, how can I expect to unite with others? You are the greatest and the most deserving person. Right. And here she says that such foolish persons who are not interested basically in material sense enjoyment are like animals because they do not know the process of sense enjoyment in the life and after death. So she is actually asking, encouraging him to indulge in sense gratification activities. Again, I'll take you back to yesterday's class where Prabhuji mentioned Bhagavad Gita's verse where, right, the sitting places of lust, lust sits, the sitting places of lust are mind, senses, and intelligence. So we have to be very careful where our intelligence is leading us. When we had the fortune of meeting His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj in Hamilton, the Harinam Ruchi group, when they came, one of the Prabhujis was advising my son, Keshav, because he asked, I don't remember what question he asked, but he was advising that every day we should be taking 4 types of baths. One, the first bath is, or shower or whatever you can say, the first bath is of the body. You have to clean your body. That's one I'm sure every one of us take. And I'm sure every one of you take all the 4. It is more for my understanding and my hammering into my brain. So the first is body, which everyone and including me takes every day. But there are 3 more bath or showers or cleansing process which we need to make sure that we are doing. One is to clean the mind, which is mantra meditation, chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You said about mind, to clean the mind. You have cleaned the body. You have cleaned the body. Now you have to clean the mind by chanting the mantra. Then you have to clean your, excuse me. You have to clean your intelligence by reading the shastras, and the last bath is about cleaning your false ego, which is through service, through practical service. So these are the 4 cleansing process we should be going through. And if we don't clean these 4 things, we know that dirt will start accumulating, and intelligence, as we are seeing, can easily divert us, as this verse says. This verse is like, you know, you have taken out completely, you are looking at life in a complete different scenario from the mentality of a completely materially inclined person. And that's what Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport as well. Srila Prabhupada says, right, in the highlighted line that, in other words, a human being is very much materially inclined, right? Indeed, all living entities are materially inclined, he says. He says that that's why they prefer grahastha life, because there is concession for sex. The karmis think the other statuses of life are worse than animal life. For animals also have sex, whereas the brahmachari, vanprastha, and sannyasi completely give up sex. So the karmis therefore abhor these orders of spiritual life. And we were reading Bhagavad Gita 16.8. 16.8, in that verse, Bhagwan is telling to Arjun, asatyam apratishtamte jagad ahur anaswaram kim anyat kama hetukam. Basically, I'm sorry, I don't remember the whole verse, but the main thing is kim anyat kama hetukam. So what is the other reason, what can be the other reason other than lust, that this whole material world has been created? They say that this whole material world is the production of sex desire, and it has nothing else other than lust, no cause other than kim anyat kama hetukam. But this is what Bhagwan is. So we are looking at the sample problem, and now we are looking at the answers to it. Okay, we are trying to solve this sample problem. So though the Mataji, Puranjani Mataji, is advising King Puranjan to she's encouraging him to indulge in material sense gratification. But what does our syllabus book says? They say that, Lord say that this is demonic, the thinking. This is asuric thinking. When you think that, this whole material life is about material sense enjoyment, right? Actually, human life is not for material enjoyment, not just for material enjoyment. There's this verse in Mahabharata from Hitopdesh also. It is ahara nidra bhay maithunam cha samanyam etat pashubhir samanam धर्म ही तेषो adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashubhi samana. So if you don't have what is ahara nidra bhay maithunam, these four things, everyone, including animals, can enjoy. Okay, eating, sleeping, fearing, maithunam, sexual activities, all these things can be enjoyed by anyone, especially Pashu and Nar. It can be, but what is the difference? There has to be, these four things are same between, but there's one thing which is different, which is dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesha. That is dharma, religion. That is something which is different. That is something which is special, that factor. Okay, so we have to come out of these four standard ordinary things, because we want to become extraordinary, right? We don't want to just stay ordinary. We have to insert dharma in our lives, and using dharma, we have to come out of this material world. Otherwise, the pact or treaty of enjoying each other will actually doom us more into material world, right? And Srimad Bhagavatam confirms this. And fifth canto, Rishabh Maharaj is speaking this. Would anyone like to recite the verse? Or maybe I'll recite the verse and someone can recite the translation. Pumsa striya mithuni bhava metam tayor mitho hridaya grantimahu ato graha kshetra sutapa vitter janasya moho yam aham mameti. Would anyone like to read the translation, please?
I'll try, Mataji.
Thank you.
The translation. The attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the heart of the male and female, one becomes attracted to body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of high and money. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Guruji. So what what Puranjani's proposal is, Rishabh Maharaj is saying that the attraction between male and female, that is the basic principle of material existence. That is the basic principle of material existence. And when we understand that dharma is the special factor which we have to understand what dharma says. What is our dharma as jivas? Our dharma is we are servants of the Lord. And what is our dharma? To serve the Lord. And if we are busy in, of course, getting more entangled in material activities, right? Though, see, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan says in 7th chapter, right? Bhagavad Gita says that balam balavantam cha, in that verse 7:11, I think he says, kamo osmi bharata sarva, right? So I am the strength of the strong. I am the sex life, which is not contrary of regulative principles. He mentions that. However, we need to also remember what, so, okay, Bhagwan is saying that, yeah, that is, if it is not out of, not contrary to religious principles, you can enjoy the sensual pleasures in marriage. But however, we need to also remember, see, there's, because it's a very trick question. This sample problem is a very tricky one. So what does, we have to look at different aspects of this verse, and from what our books are saying. Rishabh Maharaj further says that to his sons. What does he say? This is a very, very famous verse. Guru na sashyat, swajano na sashyat, pita na sashyat, janani na sashyat, devam na tatsyan, na patis chasasyan, na mochayadya samupeta mrityum. One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. So regulative principle says that for progeny, you can enjoy the sexual pleasures. However, there is another condition to it. Can you deliver the dependents, the progeny, from the path of repeated birth and death? And if you cannot, it is completely rejected. Right? In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, the wives of the Brahmanas, who were performing the austerities, they gave up their husbands just to satisfy Krishna. This is, Srila Prabhupada writes, this is an example of wife rejecting husband who cannot deliver them from the clutches of Maya. We'll see what Prabhupada says. Prabhupada Vaja. Purport 5.5.15. Shukracharya was rejected by Bali Maharaj due to his inability to save Bali Maharaj from the path of repeated birth and death. Shukracharya was not a pure devotee. He was more or less inclined to fruitive activity, and he objected when Bali Maharaj promised to give everything to Lord Vishnu. The wives of Brahmanas who were performing sacrifices gave up their relatives just to satisfy Krishna. This is an example of wife rejecting a husband who cannot deliver her from the impending dangers of birth and death. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father, and Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother, Jananina Sashyat. Right? So, this is another condition we have to, while solving this problem, we have to make sure that are we able to deliver them? Deliver our dependents. Forget about releasing them from the clutches of Maya. We actually get more entangled into it. There's this, we were recently reading Srimad Bhagavatam's Canto 9, and this story came up of Pururava and Urvashi. Okay, very interesting story where they both get attracted to each other, intoxicated by the beauty of Urvashi, and vice versa. Urvashi was very much impressed by Pururava's bravery, and they both decided to get together. And Urvashi left the heavenly planets and came and stayed with Pururava, and they enjoyed for 4 years. And but she, of course, she had a condition that she should never see Pururava Maharaj naked, and she had 2 lambs. In the picture you can see 2 lambs, and he has to protect them. So after 4 years of togetherness and enjoying, Indra was missing Urvashi from his kingdom, and he, there was this order to, Indra gave the order to his servants to get Urvashi back, to Gandharvas actually, to get Urvashi back. And then there was this conspiracy where they stole the lambs, and then Pururuva, out of fear of losing Urvashi, he just ran to protect the lambs, where he was not wearing anything, so he was naked, and he did got the lambs back, but Urvashi saw him naked, so that was the condition she put, so she left him. And the story doesn't end. The main point of learning starts after this, because Pururuva, who comes from the great lineage, he was the grandson of moon god Soma. He was a grandson of Soma. He lost completely. He completely lost it. He was like, getting mad, searching for her everywhere. And he actually inaugurated, Prabhupada writes that, it's written in Srimad Bhagavatam, he inaugurated the Karma Kandi Yagyas. He inaugurated, because it was the starting of Treta Yuga, which is the Yug Dharma Yagyas. So he inaugurated that yagya in order for the, what was his condition, that he's doing the yagya to please the Gandharvas, who would then give, he can, go to Gandharva planet and to Indra's planet and heavenly planets and enjoy with Urvashi, right? Such a powerful lineage, grandson of moon god, Atri Muni's lineage, Brahmaji's direct lineage. What did sense gratification led him to? Right? He didn't got liberation. He actually was stuck in the planet of Gandharvas. I won't say he was stuck in, but he received the planet of Gandharvas, where he enjoyed with Urvashi. So what is this married life sense enjoyment compared to in our Shastras? This married life enjoyment is compared to itching, the relief you get through itching. In 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj mentions this. Prahlad Maharaj, in his prayers to the Lord, he says, Yan mathunadi grahamedi sukham hitucham. He says all these, mathunadi grahamedi, these sukh are tucham, he's saying. Literally tucham. It is like he mentions that sex life is compared to rubbing, the two hands when it's itching somewhere. And then kondayena karor iva dukkha dukkham. He says that, it just creates more miseries, because when you get relief of it, that you consider that as happiness, but actually you are spreading the eczema, you're spreading that itchiness, that disease all over when you are scratching it. And he says in that verse, Vishaheta Dhira, it's similar to our first verse of Isha Upanishad, Nectar of Instruction, right? Kondu with a manas, that, the Vishaheta Dhira, a person who is very intelligent would actually control this itch. He will not give in to it, he will actually control the itch. Right? And it is so much true. We need to control, not give in these sense pleasures. It is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita also, that this is like fire of sense gratification. If you are putting ghee into it, if you're giving it into, it will only increase it. It will never be satisfied, right? There's something, I think in the 7th canto itself, Narad Muni is referring to Prahlad Maharaj and Avadhuta's conversation. In that conversation also, Avadhuta says that, I have understood that this human form and this man and women unite and for this sensual pleasures. But this is all, after some time, it's just useless. We derive no pleasure out of it. However, there is no proper data to back it up, but it is considered that snoring, right? Snoring is third leading cause for divorce. So I'm saying that I don't have a backup data, because I was looking for the research and all. So there were other things, but it does said that when they asked all the divorced couple, most of them said snoring was a very reasonable factor for them to consider while divorcing their person. So you are enjoying the person for so long, but after some time, that turns into misery, right? That turns into misery. Actually, I remember our Guru Maharaj once mentioned that, it is exploitment of each other. And when after an age, when the wife is not able to serve the husband, or the husband is not able to give the wife what she wants, they both get tired of each other because they have material intelligence. Remember, we are not talking about devotees. Very nicely again, if anyone missed, please listen to yesterday's class. It was absolutely wonderful how logically Prabhuji explained the importance of difference between right intelligence, wrong intelligence, and also the partnership in marriage. We are not talking about devotees here. We're talking about material intelligence, material thinking. People who have these kind of thinking, they will get bored of each other after some time, especially when this whole enjoyment things finishes, right? So is there a solution to it? So we've understood that what Puranjani is saying is actually a trick question. Okay, but then what is the solution? What is the solution to come out of this sense gratification? And it's again in Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridiyantastha Bhadrani Vidhunoti Surat Satam. Right? Shravan and Kirtan, the first two, very, very important practice of devotional service. If we do, in everyone's heart, the benefactor of the truthful devotee cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the Punya Shravana Kirtana. Vidhunoti Surat Satam. Vidhunoti, dho dete hain. Completely. What washes away? This is Shravana Kirtan. Shravana Kirtan. And many of you would already know this, but because of my low intelligence, I literally came across this now only, that how hearing is very important. We all know how Srila Prabhupada used to love hearing, and his guru used to appreciate him for that so much, because hearing is the only way you can love someone. This thing was said, if you join both the ears together, it comes into a shape of heart, which I didn't knew before. So it comes into shape of heart, which shows that, what does it show? That ears are the way to your heart. So if we want to develop loving devotional service, love for Krishna, for the devotees, we have to start doing Shravan Kirtana. Okay, because that is what will take us away from material desires. And then, of course, we all know the power of chanting Kirtana. Apanna samsritim ghoram yan nama vivaso granan tata sadyo vimuccheta yad bibeti swayam bhayam. So the holy name of the Lord is feared by fear personified. So Shravan and Kirtan is very important. This is the solution if you want to get away, if you want to control either if you want to get away or you want to control the sensual pleasures in material world. And so when we're talking about the solutions, Shravan and Kirtan, this reminds me of we can think about a car. The fuel is Kirtan. It is Yug Dharma. The fuel in the car is Yug Dharma, Kirtan, what you are doing, your sadhana. And then the steering wheel, where the driver, you are directing it to the right place, as in you are reading the bona fide scriptures, you are hearing the bona fide scriptures, bona fide shastras. But still there are times, when your car will just not work. Though it has fuel, it has a driver who will drive the car very nicely. Everything is working in the car, but still the car would not move. Or if it will move, it will just give too much noise and too much black smoke coming out of, from the back of the car. Or there are so many problems in our life, right? In my life, when I'm doing my chanting, I'm reading the shastra, but there are still so many problems involved in my life, and that is because of the anarthas, right? The road where the car is driving, it might be very dirty road. It might actually affect the carburetor. It might affect the quality of the wheels. It might damage the wheels. There could be multiple reasons why a car might get affected from the road. The road, if we can think about, there are different anarthas in our life, which actually stops us from progressing forward, even though you are trying to do your best in your devotional service, there is one thing which can actually give a complete, it will increase the speed. It will give such a big push to your car. It can actually identify the parts which are not working, which you cannot understand why they are not working, make it fine, and then attach in the car, and then it will give you a boost in your devotional service. And that one factor is Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna dasayana katha tajoshanada swapavarga vartmani shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishati. Bhaktir anukramishati. Your devotional service will increase, will gradually, it will not decrease, it will gradually increase. What? Satam prasanga, in the association of pure devotees. When you do Shravan and Kirtan in the association of pure devotees. What does pure devotee do? What is the quality of pure devotee? There are many qualities, but one quintessential quality is compassion. A devotee, para dukha dukhi. It's compassion. We'll quickly look through the story of Ramanujacharya. Right? This is a very famous story, and I'm sure most of you already would be aware of this. This is about Dhanurdas. You see that man who is holding the umbrella. And so Dhanurdas was a very famous person, very rich merchant, very good wrestler. But he got attracted to this lady, to the beauty of this lady, right? Exactly how King Puranjan gets attracted to Puranjani, the beauty of Puranjani. So he's completely attracted to the lady. And so much, he's captivated by the eyes of the lady so much. You can see that she's walking forward, but he doesn't want to miss even a moment of not seeing her. So what he'll do, he will walk backwards facing her, so that each and every moment he's able to captivate her. Captivate her beauty in his eyes. So once he went to Ranganathan temple. They all went to Ranganathan temple. And there, again, Dhanurdas was walking backwards and facing the wife. And everyone was looking and making fun of it. But he didn't care. He literally didn't care. He was so intoxicated by the beauty of his wife, this lady. And Ramanujacharya was passing by, and he saw Ramanujacharya, the greatest Vaishnava, right, in our 1700s, I think. He saw this pair, this couple, and he was like, what's happening here? What is he doing? Why is he why is he walking backwards? So he went to Dhanurdas and he asked that, why are you walking like this? Why are you facing your wife? Why are you walking like this? Isn't it uncomfortable? And without even looking at Ramanujacharya, he just said that, oh, her eyes are so beautiful. I'm captivated by her eyes, and I don't want to miss it, even a second of it. Immediately, Ramanujacharya felt so much compassion for that soul, so much compassion for that soul. And he said that, you know what? What if I show you someone more captivating, someone's eyes who's more captivating than your wife? And he said that it's not possible. Dhanurdas said it's not possible. Ramanujacharya requested him. So he said, okay, fine. I promise you, if I see anything more beautiful than my wife's eye, any eye which is more beautiful and captivating than my wife's eyes, I will do whatever you say. I'll become, completely subservient to that person then. So Ramanujacharya took Dhanurdas to Ranganathji. The darshan was closed, and he said that just wait and watch. You will see the most beautiful eyes in this whole creation soon. And as the doors were just about to open, Ramanujacharya did a silent prayer to Ranganathji, and he requested that this soul is suffering so much. I can't see the pain of this soul. Can you please give him some guidance there? Can you please show him the real beauty? He's stuck into this material beauty, which is not even worthy watching, of looking at, but he's stuck into this. Can you please give him the mercy and show him the real beauty of your eyes? And when the doors open, Dhanurdas saw Ranganathji, and at that moment, Ranganathji moved his eyes and he looked directly at Dhanurdas and then went back and closed his eyes. Just that one fraction of a second when Dhanurdas saw the beautiful eyes of Ranganathji, he actually fainted in ecstasy. And he accepted that there's no beautiful eye. He went on to become a greatest Vaishnava as well, one of the greatest Vaishnava as well in Ramanujacharya's Sampradaya. This is all because of the compassion of that devotee. So whatever Shravan and Kirtan we are doing, it will not give, we might be giving our 100%, but we need lots more to reach to the ultimate goal. And that lots more would be only and only added by the mercy of devotees, the association of pure devotees. Because they have, as I said, they have this quintessential compassion. Even if we do mistakes, even if we do mistakes, they will always be compassionate to you. This whole thing, brings our attention to the point that, why association of pure devotee, this whole story brings why association of pure devotee is so important. Just one look at Dhanurdas and Ramanujacharya was filled with compassion, right? If I speak about myself, till date, the compassion of devotees encourage me, motivate me, and perplex me at many times that why they think that, how come someone can do so much of selfless service, right? Which brings us to a very important thing today, which is today is the day when we honor the personality who has brought the descent of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this world, in this material world. Shri Advaita Acharya Appearance Day ki Jai. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is Mahavishnu. He himself could have delivered all the Kali Yuga souls when he was here in Navadvip. When he saw that all the souls are struggling to accept the original truth. They are struggling with there's so much hypocrisy. All the 4 regulative principles are broken, exploited to the maximum. And there's so much of atheism, there's so much of demigod worship going on, violence to the jivas happening. He was completely filled with so much pain and so much compassion towards all the living entities of Kali Yuga in Navadvip during that time, that because of him, Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai, because of him, he pleaded to the Lord, and because of him, we got the mercy of Mahaprabhu. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, who is Advaita Acharya? He is Mahavishnura Amsa Advaita Gunadhama Ishvara Abheda Tani Advaita Purna Nama. Teni Advaita Purna Nama. Sri Advaita, who is a reservoir of virtues, is the main limb of Mahavishnu. His full name is Advaita, for he is identical in all respects with that Lord. And in Gaur Gandesha Deepika, it is written, Bhaktavatara Acharyo Dvaita Yah Shri Sadashiva. He who has Shri Sadashiv is the Bhakta Avatar, Shri Advaita Prabhu. So Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu with the heart of Sadashiv, with the devotion of Sadashiv, who is always compassionate towards the soul, towards the jivas, towards material entities. When we think about today is the appearance day of Advaita Acharya, and then tomorrow it's not. Yesterday it was not. In future it won't. It will come again after a year. Is there a way that we can actually feel the appearance of Advaita Acharya every single day? Like, when was Advaita Acharya born? He was born in 1434. Right? Almost it will become soon 600 years. We'll come out of this 500 years old thing. It will soon become in 10 more years, Advaita Acharya, it will become 600 years ago, Advaita Acharya came. We celebrate his appearance day once in a year. We fast, we rejoice, we enjoy, we enjoy the prasadam, of course, not materially, but we make sure that we are serving the Lord in a way, thanking Him for appearing in this material world as a compassionate avatar of Advaita Acharya, so that we can then be delivered. But that's just once in a year. Is there a way that we can actually see this mercy, see Advaita Acharya every day of our year? At least in my life, I can say, because, what, as we said, what is Advaita Acharya is the embodiment of compassion, right? He, with just tulsi dalmatrena, jalasya chulukena cha. So just with tulsi and jala, he actually pleaded the Lord. And it's said, Lord says that I am sold to my devotee who offers me tulsi and jal. So when Advaita Acharya read that, he was like, okay, I know how to make sure that Mahaprabhu comes. He could have himself delivered, but he wanted the best to come, God himself to come and deliver the fallen souls. Because, Mahaprabhu is more, the most merciful avatar of Lord himself. So this compassion, what he felt towards us, towards all the jivas of material world, this compassion, we can actually, whenever in my life, that one Gopal Krishna Prabhu who actually helped me, who took me, who used to come to my house, pick me up from my house and take me to Namhat program, because I was new to the city and I didn't knew driving. That one Gopal Krishna Prabhu, embodiment of compassion. That one Surat Krishna Prabhuji and Vishnupadi Mataji, who thought, oh, they don't know the taste of Mangalarti chanting. Let's do, just program with just let's call this couple every weekend morning and give them some taste of Mangalarti. That Padmasambha Prabhu and Archana Mataji, who thought that this devotee is sick and I need to serve her prasadam, because she's sick, she's struggling with her work, and she's new to the city, she doesn't know anyone. All these small, they are, I cannot count how many times I would have been given the opportunity to feel the presence of Advaita Acharya in my life. The compassion devotees have shown time and over again, right? And that's a way which we all can see the presence of Advaita Acharya in our life. It is not possible without the blessings of Advaita Acharya to that devotee, that any devotee could develop a feeling of compassion towards another devotee. It is not possible. If a devotee is being compassionate to you, he's definitely favored by Advaita Acharya. His embodiment, that quality's embodiment is Advaita Acharya, right? So on this auspicious day of Advaita Acharya's appearance day, I pray to Advaita Acharya to always keep us in the association of pure devotees who helps us to fight against this sense, enjoyment propensity we all have, and to solve this very tricky problem we face time and again in our lives. So with the association of pure devotees, because they are so compassionate. And also, I just hope that Advaita Acharya gives me some strength that I can someday reciprocate with all the devotees the same way, can show the compassion, what I have been shown during my journey in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much for being very patient and listening. Please share your thoughts, please add to the verse, or of course the special appearance of Advaita Acharya. If anyone wants to add, please. Hare Krishna. I'll stop sharing.
Hare Krishna, Sita Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice class. Especially the conclusion, you spoke very well about how we can remember and appreciate Advaita Acharya every day in our lives. Because yes, the compassion of the devotees we see every day, and sometimes we take it for granted. But you really very well pointed out that how we have to appreciate and love and cherish devotees and their contribution to our life every day. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Sita Mataji. Dandot Pranam. So thank you so much. At least I personally feel this very, very difficult verses for me, especially today's verse looks very, very difficult for me. But so nicely you presented it, even though it is very difficult verse, at least that's what I felt. But very nicely you presented and brought out the key points, what we should note from this. Thank you so much for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Guruji. Okay. I think we don't have any more questions or comments.
Anybody else? I think Nandavarish Prabhu, he had to go for appointment, I think, doctor appointment. So I think if there's no other questions or comments from others, I think we'll close the session now, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Close the session now. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anta koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai. Her Grace Sita Devi Mataji ki jai.
Jai.